You made it to day 5 of the Launch Your First Group Trip Challenge. Today, tour host and guest expert Brittany Verlenich is wrapping up the week by showing you how to organize your incoming leads and use group trips to build deep connections with your community offline and grow your business in a meaningful way. Now, before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss a single video in this series or my other trainings for creators. Also, scan the QR code that is on your screen right now or click the link in the video description to grab your implementation workbook. This workbook is your exact business plan blueprint for this challenge, and it's really going to help you take what you learn and actually put it into practice. Plus, you'll use this workbook to enter our challenge giveaway. We've got some great prizes. You will not want to miss it. So scan the QR code and you will get full details on that. On that note, let's dive into today's training with Brittany.
So you're thinking about hosting a group trip, but you're not really sure if you have everything set up on the back end, like business-wise. Do I have to have certain licenses first? What do I need to be official and legal? There are so many different considerations. And I will say that's really going to be dependent upon the pathway you choose. This video is part of a 5-video series, by the way. If you haven't seen day 2, definitely go and watch that one because I talk about the different pathways there are. And I think in day 3, I actually shared some different examples of different ways you can set up group trips. Depending on what your goals and your dreams and your prior experiences, like if you're a travel blogger, content creator, influencer, you might not be a travel agent yet, or you might not want to be. So the way that you host a group trip is different than the travel agents I mentor and support, or even the people who decide to launch their own tour companies, right? There are so many ways you can do this. So I first hope that this video reassures and excites you, if this happens to be the first video you're watching, that you can totally do this. And if this is your first video, hi, by the way, my name is Brittany. I'm the founder of Travel Agent Haven. I've been a travel agent myself since 2020, but before that, I've been a travel blogger since 2018. My first travel blog was about travel for teachers, ways that they can travel on a budget, ways that they can travel through grants and fellowships and scholarships, all kinds of cool opportunities out there for fellow educators. So shout out to that if you're a teacher. But I'm guessing that if you're here watching this, you're here because you want to host group trips, either as a revenue stream, as a travel blogger or content creator, or because you want to connect more deeply with your people, because you're looking to meet some kind of mission or purpose that's really close to your heart. There could be a million different reasons, and there's likely some selfish fun reasons too, like you want to travel more, you want to make friends abroad, like so many different reasons, and we welcome all of them here. So if you have been following along with us, we have covered a lot of ground over these 5 videos. We've talked about how to pick your pathway and knowing why you want to host a group trip and what your internal selfish why is versus your external why. What needs are you meeting? We talked about who you're talking to. We talked about strategies for actually launching your first group trip. And then before that, figuring out who you're going to host it with and where you're going to host it and putting a date on the calendar. I shared some examples and ideas of actual posts to make, of actual emails to send. And I actually showed you over my shoulder some of those. And you know what's so cool about that is actually since I created video 4 and put up that post on Facebook and made that email, I actually got responses already. I was so pleasantly surprised. I sent a really simple hand raiser email, and I shouldn't be too surprised because I basically do the same thing every time, but I was surprised at how fast it was this time. So I sent a really simple teaser kind of launch post. Again, go see the video from day 4 if you want to see the full version of it. But basically, I just said, hey, I'm interested in doing this. I have an idea. Here's who it's for. Here's what it's about. Here's what it'll be. Who's interested? And I had so many people respond back, and it hasn't been long since I did that. So I'm really pleased. Now, is every single person who tells you they're interested in going on your group trip actually going to go? Of course not. And even out of the people who register for the group trip, it is so normal for people to even put a deposit down and to make several payments towards a trip and to still have them cancel or reschedule or something comes up. It is so normal. And one of the reasons I'm covering that in day 5 of this challenge is because I do want to normalize it, because I don't want you to make it mean anything about you if a trip has to be canceled, if you have to push the dates back, if you have to pick a new destination or type of trip entirely because you found out from auditing your audience and talking to them that this is not the kind of trip they want. Because like I said in a prior video, I've launched trips where nobody registered. And I said, okay, I guess we didn't want that one. On to the next one. Don't wallow. Don't stay stuck in that. have your feelings if you have to, but don't stay stuck in that, okay? Move on to the next thing. And I was so pleasantly surprised by this matchmaking festival in Ireland, them being interested. And that tells me, okay, even if these specific people don't move forward with the trip or register or decide to come with me, they might know people who will actually do it. And I did have some people tag their friends because it is a fun, shareable thing. And also that shows me other people are out there like those people. You see what I mean? It validates the offer and the audience enough for me to pursue it further. So I'm really excited about this personally for the group trip that I'm now going to be hosting, and also just showing you that this can be a lot simpler. I don't want to say it's easy, but a lot more simple than many people make it out to be. You also don't need to be a mega influencer or have loads of followers. I don't, and it still works because you're talking to people one person at a time, creating relationships and connections and building a real community of people. And it's so cool when I see people travel together who came on my trips, because you know you've made a community when people connect outside of you being there, which is just the coolest thing. All right, but in this video, I want to show you one more practical thing, because what do you do when all these people have said that they're interested? Like, how do you keep that organized? Some people might be really surprised. I was honestly a little bit hesitant to show you there's the pretty version of what I do, and it's not even that super pretty. But let's actually just say there's 3 levels to it, okay? There's a very beginner version, which there's nothing wrong with this. I still use this version because it's simple and because it's effective and because it works and because it's so mobile friendly. Remember, I travel a lot, right? I'm doing scouting trips for future group trips I'm hosting. I'm going on group trips myself. I get invited to things. I apply to fam trips and go. I'm very much on the move. Actually, for the next month, just happenstance, I'm not going to be home because I'm literally traveling 3 or 4 different trips back to back, which is something, again, you want to think about. What kind of life do I want to have? Where do group trips fit into that? Do I want to do only a few a year? Do I want to make this my life? Those are all different questions you want to be asking yourself. But anyway, I want to show you these 3 simple systems so that when you can decide based on where you are, marketing, tool, and business level wise, what's going to work for you. Okay, so the Notes app. I use my Notes app for everything. And this is whether you have an Android or an iPhone. I use a simple Notes app, and I just labeled this one Liz Dunvarna. I'm going to call it Liz Dunvarna Leads. Now, I'm not going to show you the actual names of the people, although if you went on that post, you would see them, but I'm just writing them down. I'll just do a name just so you can see what this looks like. Okay. And then what you want to do, so I make a checklist. Okay. I'm just putting a checkbox next to it. And basically what I'm doing is I'm making my own little CRM or lead tracker, and as soon as I have more information available, I'm going to send it to them. And I can make my own little code, right? So I'm just going to show you, you can do this with emojis. You can do this just by making notes. I keep it super simple. So sent info, I'm just going to show you as if this trip has already been going on because I'm in the hand raising stage now. Paid deposit. So this is very simple, okay? This is just a Notes app. I have these people, okay, I sent info. I have this person paid their deposit. I have to decide what my system is, right? I might decide that, okay, once this person is fully paid, I'm going to check them off, okay? And then I know that everybody who's crossed off on this list and checked, those people are fully paid and ready to go. Or I might even continue my list because I also want to have a wait list, which I recommend that even when you have enough people to run your trip, and or even if your trip is filled to the brim with people, you want to have a wait list, because what if one of those people reschedules, cancels, asks for a refund, whatever? You want to be able to go to whoever is at the top of your wait list and say, hey, a spot is opened up. If you're still interested, if they can pay the deposit, all that. If they say no, just keep moving down the list, right? It also helps when you have some kind of system for tracking and managing leads like this. It helps you to not get personal or not get too in your head about it, because this is just your process. If you reach out to the second person on your wait list and they don't say anything and they're not interested, no worries. That deadline is passed. I'm moving on to the third person. You see what I mean? You have this system decided in advance so that you don't have any weird feelings about it. And so I would recommend setting up your own system in the Notes app. This is like the very beginning one, because I want you to move as quickly as possible. Move so fast that fear can't keep up with you. I love to say that to myself. It really has served me a lot. So I would set that up in the Notes app. Another thing that you can do, so that's like level 1, right? You don't have an email list. You're new to digital marketing. Maybe you just started your travel blog too. And I know a lot of people will say this is like something you do when you already have an audience, but also the internet is kind of different now. You could have a YouTube channel get 100,000 subscribers within 3 months because the content itself resonates, the individual videos. Same thing on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Facebook, if you decided to go hard and post every single day on a platform for 6 months, every single day, especially if you posted multiple times a day, but even if you posted once, you would see growth because you're going to get better. You're going to be more dialed in. You're learning how the platform works, right? So you could actually build a business while launching a group trip, especially if you follow my advice of launching your first group trip 18 to 24 months out from when you want to go. Okay. We want to give ourselves lots of wiggle room. And I would also recommend, as someone who launches multiple trips at multiple times a year, it is so hard to stay on top of it. I would not say I'm a naturally organized person. I have had to work at it and learn it, and I'm still constantly getting better at this. It is so hard to keep up with multiple trips. So I would highly recommend just launch one until it's full, and then you have a really sizable wait list, ideally 2 to 3 times the amount of people on there. Because at that point you say, okay, I have enough people that I could maybe add a second week if you want to. But again, that's another level of complication. Or I could launch the next year, right? Like, hey, this year's full and I have you on the wait list, but do you want me to register you for next year? You see what I mean? So these are things to think about. I would recommend only doing one trip at a time, and then all of your content is about that one place, not necessarily advertising that one trip, but getting them excited and invested in you, in the journey, in the community. Okay. So that's level 1 is the notes app. Here's level 2. Level 2 is creating a Google form. And the reason I say this is because it is so simple, right? You don't even have to have many questions. I have seen even apps do this, app developers, and they don't even decorate it. I know that we like to decorate, so you could actually make it pretty, and you could just have a few simple questions on there. First and last name, email, phone number, have the information, a little bit about the trip at the top. Whatever information you have, it doesn't have to be a lot. I'll put some screenshots or maybe some video footage here to show you what this looks like in practice. I'm telling you, you probably think that it has to look way prettier and fancier than it actually has to. Like, it can be so simple. And I'm saying this as someone who has wasted so much time on graphic design and trying to make things look professional and beautiful. Most people do not care, and it's a waste of your time. And eventually, when you do get to a point where you're making some money, you can hire that task out, or you can afford to do that. But right now, launching your first group trip, you have other things to do if you're going to make this happen. So you got to focus on those other things that are going to bring a better return on investment for your time. All right. So level 3, if you already have an email list. So if you're already growing your email list, you already have a freebie, or maybe you already have a Substack newsletter, then you are going to love this, because what you're essentially doing is you're launching something, right? You're launching the group trip, but anytime you launch a product or a service or anything, what you're doing is you're giving yourself the opportunity to grow your audience, build your community, and build your email list, which is so incredibly important. And those 3 things are different and distinct, by the way. So I just want to run that back again. You want to create a community, and that's intentional. That's why I wanted to make sure I said the right word, create a community, because I don't think a community is something you really build. It's something that has to be intentionally created and curated. You want to grow your audience, and you want to build an email list. Okay. Create a community, grow an audience, build an email list. It's really important for you to do all 3 of those things as someone with any kind of digital business, but especially now with everything that these LLMs have done, these AI companies, even just with Google, right? It's so different now than it was even a few years ago. So you want to have your own back. Make sure that you're diversifying your traffic streams, your income streams, so that you can talk directly to the people you want to launch to. If you already have a Substack newsletter and email list, then you can use what I showed you yesterday in day 4's video, and you can just send that hand raiser email and see who's interested. You're not asking them to pay anything yet to be committed. You're just asking who's interested. And then as a fringe benefit, you're also going to raise your email deliverability and engagement rates and all that, which is awesome. Okay, so you do that, but I would recommend also setting up a freebie. I'm not going to show you how to do this because it's going to look different depending on which provider you're using, right? But if you use ConvertKit, now known as Kit, or Flowdesk, or MailerLite, or MailChimp, whatever you're using, there's going to be a tutorial somewhere on YouTube for sure how to set that up. And you're going to make this so simple, okay? Same thing if you use Google Forms, if you don't have an email list going yet, although definitely get your email list going as soon as possible. But with one of those, you're just going to say, enter your information to get on the wait list, and that's it. You don't have to deliver them anything. Now, if you do have some videos yet that you want for them to watch, if you have some content about that place, then you can definitely set up a freebie that's immediately available to download. You can set up an automated email welcome sequence that talks about you and the place and the group trip, whatever you do have planned, or things that will make them want to go. Like, again, it depends on what level you're at, what kind kind of experience you have that you're going to do for this, but you don't have to do all that, right? You can be successful doing the really simple thing effectively and consistently and sustainably, okay? I mean, you would just be so shocked. And I'm saying this as someone like, look, focus is hard for me. Okay, I'm a creative. I get it. I want to do all the things. But if you focus on growing one platform while also filling out this group trip and you just make it your single-minded mission to do that, I don't see how you can't win on this. I really don't. Because I just see people doing it all the time. I have one travel agent I mentor. Her name is Susan. She has 200 followers on Instagram. She's just the sweetest, by the way. She doesn't have a big following on Facebook or anything like that, but she just posted a few times, enough that not really to reach new people on Instagram, but so that her coworkers and other people would see that she's serious. And she ended up selling 2 group trips, filling them out to Northern Africa and the Middle East. I can't remember the specific countries, but I think they were multi-country trips. But that's incredible. She was able to find 30 people to come with her. So I know she also has a lot of trust in real life too. I just think it's so exciting. I really hope you see the potential that's here for you and that anyone can do this as long as you care about your people. You have to be a people person, of course, but you probably aren't still watching this if you're not. You have to be a people person. You have to love meeting with people. And it is a service you're providing, right? Even if that service is just making sure everybody gets along and has a great time, but also you're providing a service to the tour company, to the company you're partnering with, to the travel agent or tour company you're partnering with, right? Depending on which pathway you choose, you're doing marketing and promotion and sales. Really what we're talking about is sales and launching. Surprise, gotcha. But I know people feel weird about sales. The reason that you've probably felt weird about sales in the past is because you haven't believed in what you're selling, or you've been sold to in a bad way, or you've been sold a product by someone who doesn't believe in what they're selling, right? But when you listen to someone and you really know what they want and need, which is part of why we audit our audience and also kind of see how they're feeling, and then we just reach out to them and we stay in contact, sales can just be so simple. And everybody needs more sales to have their businesses sustain, right? We need sales to make a group trip happen. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to hear about your group trips if and when we should meet somewhere. If you're not already in Jesse's Travel Blog Prosperity Travel Blogger membership, then you'll definitely see me in there. I look forward to meeting you. Otherwise, I really hope that you love this video and that it was helpful. Keep it super simple. Start with your phone notes and create a simple, what we would call a CRM there, just so you can track where everybody's at in the process. And if you haven't watched other videos yet, go back and watch those so that you can stay on top of everything. Again, my name is Brittany from Travel Agent Haven, and I'm so glad that you're here, and I look forward to meeting you soon.